I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. We've got a lot of projects going. Today we're going to talk about the Swan beam drilling machine. We're going to look at how we're going to take out the screws that are fastening this thing together and see if we can't make it work. Let's take a closer look. This shaft is pretty well screwed. They've driven a pin into that and locked that bevel gear onto this shaft. I think I can remove that by either drilling out the pin or possibly pressing it out using the hydraulic press out in the garage. This shaft is worn very badly, and also this shaft, you can see by the step right there. That means if the shaft is worn, the pocket that the shaft goes into is also worn. That means I have to refill these and bore them out. At the same time, this part right here has worn away. Somebody in the past, probably the same guy that brazed it back together again, stuck a washer in there to try and tighten up the gears so that the bevel gear would actually track. Without that shim in there, the bevel gear drops away from the other gear, makes it so that it doesn't work. But there's enough movement in that bearing that you can see that the gear is actually climbing out of the pocket it's supposed to be in. This shaft has a gear on it that's supposed to work against a rack gear, but the key that holds that gear in place is a Woodruff type key, and it's loose, so I need to repair that also. But to have those things happen, I need to get this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw out. But whoever decided that they wanted to work on this thing brazed those in. Now, I've tried heating it up and taking the screw out, no success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the grinder and I'm going to grind away the head of that screw. Small grinder didn't want to reach in there and do a good job on the head of that bolt, so I'm going to take the bigger sanding disc after it. Got tired of chasing the thing around. Now that I've ground away the head of that screw, I can see why he brazed it. This corner's broken. So this cap is damaged, and he brazed it to make it so that the cap would stay on. So this is going to require some replacement surgery. That cap is toast. corner's broken off of it and it's worn out. This shaft has got a step in it right here. I don't know if that was an original design or something that they've added later, or wear on the shaft itself. Doesn't look like it. I'll know better after I get the other screw heads off. Because of the tight working quarters trying to get that last cap off, I'm going to use a Dremel tool. Dremel tool is not guarded, so therefore I'm going to be wearing a face shield, and I recommend that anybody that uses an unguarded grinding wheel, even though this is a Dremel and very small, 30,000 RPMs, that generates a tremendous amount of kinetic energy. I'm going to switch over and use a cutoff wheel. I think the grinding wheel is taking too much effort to get it down through the head of the screw. Cutoff wheels don't take as much energy to drive it through because of the width of the blade, but they're very fragile. Even better reason to wear a face shield. They also wear away very, very quickly. A little bit of vibration snaps it right off too. Fortunately, they come in boxes of 50. Since I usually use them to cut much smaller stuff, I have better success, but needs must. The Craftsman was overheating, so I switched over to the Dremel. But it appears that the Dremel is having a problem with the pilot bearing. Well, the nose bearing. It's vibrating like the dickens and tends to snap off the tool. Because these heavy-duty cutoff wheels are actually pretty tough, but they don't take vibration to them. Went through a lot of little wheels. Now we'll see if I can knock loose this head. Good sharp chisel. And find out that that cap was broken too. Actually broken in several pieces. And brazed back together again. So that explains why he brazed the screws in. The caps are cast iron. And they have been broken for a long time. Well, positive. Looks like a 1/4 screw, and the hole is not brazed shut. Let's hope all of the bolts come loose just as easy as that one. Well, it's not bad. Well, that's 3 of them. And 4.